Anchor, author, golfer, father, rapper. Not kidding. An arbiter of politics in America. He's been called a young Hugh Downs by me. Bret Baier is with us. Who won this shutdown? Did the 8 Democrats who did the right thing by crossing over to end the standoff while unscrewing us ultimately screw themselves politically? What's going on in the swamp? From the guy who rises above it all as best he can. Fox News good guy, Bret Baier, is here. Hot mics. Great time. You know it. It's Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by our friends at LA Golf. Thank you for being with us. Very excited today. Very good man is with us. The anchor of Special Report on Fox News Channel and chief political anchor for Fox News, Bret Baier is here. Author. He's written, I believe, his 6th presidential bio, To Rescue the American Spirit, Teddy Roosevelt and the Birth of a Superpower. He's a golfer. I think he's like a scratch golfer, like really good. He's a father. He and his wife, Amy, have 2 boys, Paul and Dan Yule. There he is, Bret Baier. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
The last part, though, I need to get to, and that is he is a rapper. Roll that shit. Roll that shit, man. Right now.
Oh, man.
Roll it right off the top.
Bang the boogie to the beat. Heat so unique. Come on, everybody. Dance your feet.
That's as much as we can probably get away with before, you know. Look at you go. That's a white guy party trick. One of the finest.
That's from high school, man. That's from high school. It just sticks in my mind. They called me up. I had a couple cocktails, and next thing I know, I'm singing Rapper's Delight in front of a crowd.
It's so great. It's so great. It's better than the guy who streaks. You know, there's always one guy in college. It's like, no, come on, guy. Nobody wants that. Do you know my cousin Dexter Walker?
I do.
Do you know Dex? So
yeah, play golf with him.
Dex is a great golfer. He has a party trick. Throw up Dex for a second. Friend of Brett's, friend of mine. This is, you know, you got to have a party trick. Look at Dex right there. He's a break dancer. Have you ever seen Dex break dance?
I have not. I got to see that.
Wait,
I don't think I've been at the right parties.
Oh, yeah. And then he hits the floor, and there he goes.
Wow.
Oh, he knows that move. Yeah. That's, you know, if you get him going, even at the age of 53, he'll do it.
That's a slip disc waiting to happen.
Waiting to happen. All right, Bret Baier's with us. Hot mics, hot takes. Let's get into some issues, and then we'll get into your book. The government shutdown is over. Bret, 7 Democrats and 1 independent senator from Maine crossed over. What is the fallout for them within their party?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, the left is where the power is, the passion is in the Democratic Party now. And there is a lot of pushback saying they caved. That's the words they're using. John Fetterman from Pennsylvania, he's going to run for re-election. The rest are not. And it's interesting that they're not. They've decided that they were going to cross over and that this was a bad thing. Clearly, the government shutdown was having a major impact. Air traffic control, travel around the country ahead of the holidays, but then the SNAP benefits for food aid, all kinds of things. And, I think they say they made the right call for the country. The party says they gave up on the push.
Weren't they winning? Weren't the Democrats winning this showdown? In the end, the Democrats are supposed to lose it because, whatever party does not vote for the continuing resolution, that's the party that carries the onus of the shutdown. It gets blamed on them historically, but it seemed to me like they might have been winning the battle against the Republicans and then all of a sudden threw up the white flag.
Yeah. I think the pressure got pretty intense as far as people putting pressure, not only and inside the Democratic Party, like the unions, the military not getting paid. Then the travel really screwed things up as far as the pressure that they were feeling. Remember that this was all generated, they said, around Obamacare subsidies, because at the end of the year, these subsidies for Obamacare, the healthcare ACA, end. And it's going to increase everybody's healthcare costs. But it was put in by Democrats because the Obamacare exchange was not bringing the prices down. So they inserted these subsidies during COVID to help people with prices. But they also put a term on it, and it expires. So it's of their own making. And it's really interesting to see. They had a really great election win on Tuesday, and then they had this kind of party battle on the continuing resolution, went after their own the next 2 days. And now, they're trying to get their feet back on them and go forward. But the party's split. The Democratic Party is split.
It's interesting. You say John Fetterman is running for re-election, but I don't think and no one else. So, but not even Fetterman. No one's running for re-election in 2026, right? So you've
Right.
got plenty of distance between standing up and standing with your party before there would be any type of comeuppance. And
That's true.
So I still don't gather. And then you think, okay, wait, is there a deeper strategy here? Is this about the midterm elections, which are next? And I don't know, maybe being on the side of the people and being looked upon favorably for ending it when it comes time to win again. Because this last election was just a short one, very small one with just a few states, Virginia, New Jersey, stuff like that. But it's going to be a big one in the midterms. And does this position them better?
Yeah, well, for Fetterman, he's been running on that the entire time, saying it's practical. It's stupid to have this government shutdown. And remember, traditionally, it's the other way around, that Republicans have tried to move the needle on some policy issue, and Democrats have always said, no, you have to fund the government first. I mean, there's videotape coming out of our ears about Democrats making the case, including Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer saying, you have to fund the government. This time, they were not saying that. In part, it was about politics a little bit. It was about that off-year election. They did really, really well. They talked about affordability. And even though this Democratic Socialist, Mamdani, wins in New York, which potentially creates some problems for moderate Democrats running in 26, they have to answer for whatever he does in New York City. But that issue of affordability, and that he talked about really well to hammer home that win in New York City, is something that you're going to hear Democrats talk about a lot.
And Republicans. I mean, aren't
the cost of
Republicans?
things.
I've heard Trump talk about. I mean, I heard the word come out of his mouth. I mean, are Republicans looking at themselves going, "Yikes, we
they
missed
are.
the big A word."
They are. And, you'll hear the White House and the president talk about it more and more. They're going to phrase it that, remember that inflation was at 9% under President Biden. We've got it down to 2, a little more. We're trying to get these food prices down. Energy prices are coming down. But he hasn't really capitalized, the president, on the empathy, I feel your pain when you're in the grocery store. I think that that's maybe where they're going to head, and he'll focus more on domestic as you get into the first quarter, second quarter of next year.
How is Trump able to he sort of direct the the cutbacks, the payments that weren't going out? He punished Democrat-controlled states like more. Like you could screw over Chicago, but not Florida. In all have past presidents been able to do that as effectively as he has been? Because he does. It's almost like, if you're not going to vote for me anyway, wham, I'm going to hit you and just, focus on where I can succeed.
Yeah, the White House points to there are Republican states too in the mix, but you're right. I mean, he goes after some of those cities, especially Chicago. He obviously has a battle with Gavin Newsom out in California. A number of them. I bet that there's going to be some kind of confrontation in New York. When it comes to the White House and the New York City
Like
mayor.
what? Like national security, like with the National Guard coming in as if as they've
Kind of
gone
like
to,
a crime thing or a clean up the streets thing, like you saw
yeah.
in different places.
Trump loves a fight. I mean, Zoran Mamdani saying, "Guy got 4 words: turn up the volume." He's taken on the king of the concrete jungle there, a man who relishes a fight. That's
Yeah.
right. This is going to be
Yeah, and he's a New Yorker. He likes to mix it up, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think that Mamdani is taking a lot of oxygen. He's kind of a leader now on the left and inside the party. It'll be interesting to see how Kathy Hochul, the New York governor, deals with the New York City mayor. The governor in New York has a lot more power than others do over mayors, but he can do a lot, especially when it comes to public safety and police.
I say Trump has done, a very good job of consolidating the Republican Party, where the Democrats, it seems, don't really know. It's like, okay, this progressive thing did not work. The people had a violent reaction to woke culture, cancel culture, to open borders, to and so they swung back towards the middle a little bit. And then Zoran Mamdani wins, and they're like, oh no, wait a minute, let's go back. Now are they as they get going again? Are they now the party of AOC and Bernie and Mamdani, or are they? They brought in Joe Biden for the very reason to put a moderate, stable, so we thought, person in there. Is it now MAGA versus the AOC Mamdani progressive left? Is that what we got?
I mean, right now, that's where the power is on the left. The Bernie Sanders, the AOCs, the Mamdanis. Those are the people that are drawing the big crowds. Those are the people where the passion is on the left. Now, I think you have a long time to go before you get to 26 and that voting. And the party is going to battle with each other for its ideology, trying to figure out what it is. And ideally, most Democratic consultants will tell you we hope it's race by race, and that they take the good ideas from the Mamdani, the focus on affordability and what people are feeling about the economy, and they use it in their own race. But once you start getting into big issues that some moderate in the middle of America, moderate Democrat who's running for Congress has to answer for what's happening about free grocery stores and buses and the police cutback in New York City, I think there's going to be some issues that draw the party apart.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching George Will with Bill Maher, and George Will put it beautifully. He said, no, this is great. This is actually great. The best thing you can do for socialism is you put it on its feet. And let people see, and then it drops off the map for the next 20 years or so. But every once in a while, you gotta let it rear its ugly head and let it fail.
That's his thought process. And politics wise, I think he probably has a point there. But for the people living in New York City, they've got to live through whatever happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I think it doesn't translate for the person on the street. That said, politically, Elise Stefanik is running for governor in New York. And I think because of what happened last Tuesday, she's probably better positioned to run against Kathy Hochul.
She's got a good shot. Wow.
Much better
shot than she probably would have had before. Last Republican governor was what, Pataki?
Yeah. And he was a middle of the road Republican. He appealed to upstate as well as some folks, especially Long Island and all that. But I think Elise Stefanik is going to be better positioned to run against New York City and make the case for the rest of the state.
Bret Baier, Fox News, chief political anchor with us right here, author of this great book about Teddy Roosevelt. Do you think our politics are irretrievably broken? It's very convenient and comfortable for me to say, and you and I think are the exact same age. We remember Tip O'Neill and Ron Reagan, fighting all day and arguing and trying to kick each other's ass and over this bill or that bill, but then always having a joke or, a cocktail, whatever it is at the end of the day. That just doesn't happen at all. Is this as vitriolic as it's ever been? You are a historian.
Yeah, no, not as it's ever been. We've had some really dark times. The beginning of our country with George Washington, we almost didn't get out of the starting gate. Ulysses S. Grant prevents us from falling into a second civil war. Vietnam, the battles in the streets of Washington and other places with the protests. We've been in much darker places, but we are a divided country. That said, there are some things that are happening where Democrats and Republicans work together. I have this thing on my show, Billy, that's called Common Ground, and I do it usually once a week. Been doing it for 3 years. And I bring a Democrat and Republican together on what they're working on as opposed to what they're fighting about. Now, we talk about the issues of the day, but we eventually talk about what they're working on. And when I first started this, my staff said, boss, how are we going to book this thing? we're never going to be able to book it. And it was tough at the beginning. But after a while, it became really something that everybody wanted to do. So I had committee chairmen and ranking members. I had strange bedfellows, Ted Cruz, Elizabeth Warren. I mean,
Oh,
all
wow.
these folks are working on
That's a,
something, even though they're battling on something else. And you'd be surprised. We just don't focus on it. But there's a lot that is getting done up on Capitol Hill in a bipartisan way.
well, that's a good thing to be doing. I think that's interesting for people. Um, I look at Trump he's tough to cover, and he's fun to cover. Having covered him in entertainment only back in the day, he's vindictive.
Oh, I know.
If if he doesn't like you or what you're saying or a particular question you ask, you lose access. I mean, I can literally remember if you wrong him or he feels wronged by you, forget Access Hollywood. It's only entertainment tonight now. We're only going to go with them. So, you got to keep access. You got to be able to have your sources. There you are. Oh, look at this great video. If you're watching on YouTube right now, there's Bret Baier.
Air Force One.
On Air Force One with President Trump. There's one thing that he's doing that we've never seen any president do, and I don't know. I'm wondering has the media sort of joined most Americans in becoming inured by the president's various, money-making schemes, right? The Trump and Melania coins before the inauguration, the sneakers, the Bibles. Okay, well, that's harmless enough. But then, it starts it becomes larger scale with cryptocurrency and all these things. He's making a lot of money. Forbes says $3 billion so far.
Well, we've never seen this kind of scale. And obviously, there are questions to be asked about access and what happens. Those are questions that we ask, but there is this kind of normalization that we've seen about that story. And it's the family that's running the business. But if you have the sons getting, big hotel deals in the Middle East right after a big Middle East trip, or the crypto company suddenly gets a huge investment from
United
the Middle
Arab
East.
Emirates, yeah.
They write it off. They say it's separate, it's business. But for the longest time,
but if Dad's not president, those deals are not happening at that scale, and nobody made more noise about Biden and his son, getting a $3 million consulting deal.
100%,
right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to ask the questions about Hunter Biden and China and Ukraine, and we're going to ask those questions about all the ties to different companies and how Biden may have been somehow part of it, you got to ask the same questions.
I don't see the ABCs, the NBCs, the CBSs, all the ones that I think would want to ask it more than anyone. I don't see them hammering away on it either.
Yeah, I mean, you ask a question, it gets shot down. They say it's not a big deal. And then there are so many things to cover in a day that it's like, look at the shiny thing. Listen, there's a chance that becomes a problem. Especially if there's a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate, and the hearings that revolve around that, which is what makes 26 such a huge deal for Democrats, because they have a lot of hearings that they would like to do, and those are probably one of them.
So what you're saying is, if the midterms go their way, it's here comes.
Watch out! I mean, there's going to be a lot of hearings.
A lot of hearings. Caroline Leavitt's, after the Mar-a-Lago dinner gala for the Trump coin buyers, the next day Trump coin rises more than 50%. The Trump family, the boys, if not Dad, but at least the boys get transaction fees on every single sale. The pardoning of Jinpeng Zhao, the guy who's the founder of Binance.
I had him on the show.
The crypto guy, you had him on the show. I mean, what does he say about?
I mean, he denies any connection. He says there's no quid pro quo. He didn't know Trump. He never met him. He met Eric Trump one time at a conference. He said that he put in the application for the appeal of the commutation as a result of what he believed was unfair practice by the Biden Justice Department. He goes down there and defends it. I asked him like 7 different ways to Sunday about, connections and money, and from World Liberty Financial, which is the company that the Trump sons are a part of. he pushed back hard, and I let him have his time. But those are the questions you have to ask. All of that, and
Yeah,
there are people looking into it, and I think again, right now it's not an issue that rises to the top of all the issues that we're covering.
right.
But it's under the, it's like the iceberg that you see is what we're covering day to day. But there's an iceberg under the water that is much bigger that may pop up and be a problem at some time.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's like whatever party's in power, you must get frustrated. Just like whatever party's in power, it takes the other person's argument, and they just switch, keep handing each other arguments. Marjorie Taylor Greene, introduces articles of impeachment alleging abuse of power in enabling bribery, going after Joe Biden, and now they switch positions constantly. Isn't it interesting, Brett? In our time, that
Yeah.
it seems to me the basic tenets of the Republican Party have become like, or what the Republican Party was accused of when I'm coming up is, elitism, out of touch, and the Democrats are the party of the working man. Well, now the Republicans are the party of the working man, and the Democrats are the Ivy League, Harvard presidents of the world who are elite and out of touch. It's amazing. They've switched positions, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's, Donald Trump has changed the Republican Party. I mean, it became a
Yeah.
more of a working man's party. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. In 2016 or 2015, as heading into 2016, Hillary Clinton gets the nomination. We are covering the Democratic convention in Philadelphia. Fox does not have the best positioning for the studio. We're actually in the parking lot, and we have a tent that's built for all the studio sets. The guys who built the tent were union guys. And I come out of after my show, and a guy with a purple shirt with "I'm with her" on the back, meaning I'm with Hillary Clinton, union guy says, hey, Brett, listen, come here. He's like, listen, I'm not with her, okay? And I said, interesting. And I said, are there a lot of you like that? And he said, yeah, come on. And he takes me like 150 yards back to the lunch area. And there's all these picnic tables. And there's 150 guys, maybe a couple women, wearing purple shirts. I'm with her. He stands on the table. He says, hey, guys, how many of you guys with her? No hands. How many of you guys with Trump? 150 hands.
Yeah.
This is in the parking lot of the Democratic convention with the union. And so at that moment, I knew the dynamic had changed and he had shifted things. So the working blue collar guy and woman was looking to Trump to kick over the table and try something different. And that's what we saw, it's 2016 and, in 2024. But there is a risk that you lose that if you can't keep talking to them, or they're paying too much in the grocery store, or they feel something that you're not delivering for them,
Yeah.
or they see you focusing more on, Argentina and Saudi Arabia and the Middle East instead of what they care about. And that's where the Mamdanis and all of that affordability question is starting to hit home. That may be shifting some of that vote.
What happens? Do these people care about the Epstein stuff? That was breaking news this morning. I mean, we've got that's the latest. That there's some emails, between Jeffrey and Michael Wolff, and Jeffrey and Ghislaine Maxwell, and the Democrats in the House have released some of these emails. And the most damning one is, from Epstein saying, "Oh, he absolutely, the president spent time with an underage girl," and so. Do people care about that? Because some people, including Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens, and I don't know, I haven't heard them lately, but I do recall all of them saying, this is where we draw the line. We want those files out. We want to hear, from, and then it kind of went away. Where is it? Does it have teeth? Is it going away? Is it going to be something?
It's not going away. Now there are enough Democratic votes with the swearing in of Representative Grijalva from Arizona. There are now enough votes for what's called a discharge position. So they can pass in the House a mandate that the Department of Justice release all the Epstein files. And they are likely going to do that in coming days because they now have the numbers with Republicans that want to do it too. There are several Republicans that have talked about this. You're right. In the election, it was a big thing, and Republicans said those lists should come out. It's transparency, and how it's been handled has seemed to raise more questions about it. Now, the House Democratic Oversight Committee, you're right, released these emails. The White House says they're cherry picked to make the president look bad, but it doesn't look good, and I think that there is this sense that they want transparency. Now, on the list of issues that are driving the day, is that one of them? Democrats think that there is political mining to do there as far as something that could be good for them. The danger is that the list is long that Epstein dealt with, and there are some big Democratic luminaries in there as well.
I think so. I mean, you go out, you have dinner with people. Your sources are, after all the years that you've been doing this, got to be pretty great. The conversations you're having with people. Is the general consensus this is mutually assured destruction for both parties and both leaders?
Yeah, I think so, but I also think that there is this want to stand up for the victims and to eventually get all out. And
Which would
the
be the right
president,
thing to do. So,
yeah, the president has denied all of this. You saw what Ghislaine Maxwell said, but she ended up in a cushy correctional facility. But she said there was nothing untoward with President Trump. But these emails, we're going to have to see. You got to see the context. You got to see what they're talking about, and dig into it. I don't think it's going away. But do I think it's the top issue that everybody cares about? I don't think it's that either.
you think was that a deal? She ends up in a cushy joint. So look, I can't pardon you. So let's say if there was a cover up, look, I can't pardon you. That's just too obvious. But I can move you to where the old Genovese boss used to have his chef in there making the making the sausage. I could give you.
I don't know. I mean, like it happened right after that meeting, but they've denied putting any weight on the scale. I think again we look at 26. How much does this factor in? And if Democrats control the House and the Senate, suddenly you have hearings a go-go on everything.
So if this Democrat committee, though, I mean, this there's a Congresswoman elect who's getting sworn in today by Mike Johnson. So she, provides the final signature. Now you got a bipartisan committee that says, let's see the files. Can the White House get around that, or do they have to do it? Is that? I mean, Trump's.
I don't think they can. I mean,
they'll have to do it.
They'll have to do it.
So the files are coming.
They're coming. Everything we know that once that discharge petition comes from the House and they have the numbers, then the DOJ has to release it. I don't know if there's going to be markings, redactions, but there will be some kind of classified ability for them to look at it. And in an effort to protect the victims' rights and all of those details. But, I think this has been handled really poorly from the beginning. And that's part of the issue of raising questions. And I do think it crosses party lines. I think Republicans, look at this as a danger spot.
We got the great Bret Baier from Fox News. I call him a young Hugh Downs. I mean, he's just born to rock that anchor desk and deliver the news. I feel like you're the closest thing we have, and a big compliment here to Cronkite in that he was just a trusted guy. There's something about for all those people who say, "Oh, Fox News is just a mouthpiece for Trump. It's just a this." I think Bret Baier is seen differently as very fair.
Well, thank you, Billy. It means a lot. I have, over the years, it's hard to believe, I've been at Fox 27 plus years. I took over for Brit Hume 16 years ago and the anchor of Special Report. And he told me three things. One, the show is not about you. Two, the show is not about you. And three, let the news drive the show. And I think I just put the horse blinders on for that 1 hour and try to get to the end of it and say, is this fair? And I tell people to watch 3 times and drop me an email or a text or a tweet or whatever, and let me know. So I usually have some dark spots in social media where some Bob will say, "You are so in the tank for Trump," and Sally will say, "You are such a liberal anti-Trumper."
Yeah.
And I'll say, "Bob meet Sally, Sally meet Bob." I'm just going to cover the news, you know.
Bret Baier is with us. We're going to talk in a second here about at least he's a father. I want to hear about the boys, Paul and Daniel. What are they into? Some sports. I gotta think one of them at least is a golfer.
Oh, yeah.
like Dad. Are they playing video games? With 17 and 14. That's some interesting ages. So more with Bret in a second. But I'm going to make a quick message here about our sponsor of the show today, Prize Picks. My favorite place to win cash while watching football. And tomorrow night, we've got Thursday night football on Prime. The Jets are at the Patriots, who are on fire with Drake May at the helm. Drake, let's see. What are we going to do with this bet here? Do we think Drake May will have more or less than 1.5 passing? Will he have basically at least 2 touchdowns? I think he absolutely will because the Jets stink. So we're going to take more on that line, more than 1.5. And for Breece Hall, running back for the Jets, I think he'll have less than 58.5 because the Patriots defense is too good. Justin Fields, quarterback for the Jets, I do think he will have at least 1 touchdown. He will definitely not have 2, so I'm going to take the more on him. I got a 3-pick power play right there. I could win $90 on that 20 spot. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you win. So use the promo code HOTMICS and download the app right now. We also like to thank our sponsor, LA Golf. The Bel Air 2 putter is out right now, and the longest ball in golf is back in stock. Every ball on the market stops spinning at its highest point. Bret Baier knows that. LA Golf's proprietary design is a 4-piece ball that spins through the apex so you can get another 8 to 10 yards further. I don't know if you need another 8 to 10 yards, Bret Baier, but I know I do. I have a very,
We can always use it.
I have a short backswing. What is your handicap?
I am a 2.7, so I'm a 3 handicap, but I'm a walking wallet because I don't play enough. So I just hand out money to my buddies. But it's I played in college and I've kept it up, and I love the game. My son Paul is also a 3 handicap, and there I'm at St. Andrews. I just played in the Dunhill in October.
Oh my God, the guy on the left.
Yes,
that's my friend David Fox. That's Foxy. Foxy,
yeah.
He is a great guy on the left. He's a big Australian. His father, they have a company called Linfox. They're like the biggest, logistics company in that entire hemisphere.
We had so much fun.
He's a terrible golfer. I can't believe he's playing with Bret Baier.
He's got a great handicap, though. He took my money. There's another shot where I'm handing over money. He played with Cam Smith, and I played with Louis Oosthuizen. We had a great time. The weather was absolutely horrific. Like Scotland, they canceled a day because of wind. That never happens, but they did. And but we got through 3 days, and it was a lot of fun.
Unbelievable. So, Bret, your son, Paul, he's a 3 handicap like you. I just reading I'm getting caught up on all that he's been through. He's had his another open heart surgery that he's had. Is this the 5th one that he's had since he was born?
Yeah, that's always tough. That last one was 2 years ago, but he's had 5 open heart surgeries and 10 angioplasties. He was born with 5 congenital heart defects. We didn't know at the beginning, and it started our journey at Children's National. And his first open heart surgery was when he was only 10 days old. So they reworked the heart the size of a walnut. And, the surgeon reworked arteries like angel hair pasta so that the heart could beat the right way. And the fix was a donated baby aorta that didn't grow with him. So he had to get it replaced. And his last one, we hope, knock on wood, is the last, was a little bit 2 years ago. And so he is now 18. He is 6'3". He's a great golfer.
How tall are you? You're not that tall.
I'm 5'11". My younger son, who's 16, is a freshman, and he's 6'4". And Billy, I said, thank God they look like me. There they are. That's a few months ago. That might be last year. But
the Twin Towers with the parents in the middle there.
They've grown since then. And so I look at them and say, thank God they look like me. I'm looking at the mailman saying, that guy's tall. Watch out. But, no, they're great kids. And my younger guy, and there we are at the football game. The younger guy, Daniel, is a basketball player at a high school down in Florida.
Yeah, listen, I'd be remiss. I mean, every man that's watching this is saying the same thing I am. Your wife is absolutely stunning. How does it? How did you get to date Amy and then marry Amy?
I'm playing above the rim, man. I don't know. I
I'll
don't know
say.
what's going on there. Yeah. No, she's the best. She's the rock. We've been married 21 years.
Oh,
And I married
fantastic!
her. I met her on a blind date. We went to a Rolling Stones concert in DC. And I told her friend, I'm going to marry that girl. And you can see
Wow,
why. No, I mean, she's great
wow.
inside and out.
And did she say to the friend, "I'm going to marry that guy"? Or yeah,
Took a little longer. I
yeah.
think it took a little longer, but she was in Chicago. I commuted back and forth. I was covering the Pentagon at the time, and I kind of courted from afar. We got engaged, and she moved to DC. That's right after our honeymoon. Our honeymoon was the longest time that we spent together, 8 days in the same city.
Wow.
And so you can imagine, you put the toothpaste where,
Yeah, yeah. All we're
wait,
working.
what are you doing? You're that messy?
Oh my God! No, I wonder with having health issues with one of your kids. Are you kind of like a yin and a yang? Like if she's worried, you stay steady, and then if you get worried and she stays steady, how do you get through
Yeah.
that together? How do you stay
No, that's a
supportive?
great question, man. She was the nurturer, like showing the baby and Paul love, and I was kind of the guy that was asking all the questions to the nurses and writing down and sending emails to everybody. That those emails from the early days became the first book that I wrote, Special Heart, a journey of faith, hope, and courage and love about Paul's heart journey. And it was kind of cathartic. And we donated all the proceeds to congenital heart disease research. And that was how I got into writing books, is I wrote about Paul's heart journey.
Wow, that's an amazing thing. You've written. God, how many books have you written? Six or seven?
Seven. This is the seventh book.
This is the seventh book. Wow, I can't. I have a hard time writing an email. Um, but I got
This one's good though. It's really fun to write about history, and this guy jumps off the page. Teddy Roosevelt is like such a character in our history. 26th president, our youngest president at 42, and he just has a huge life that I try to get in a way that people can read it like on the beach over the weekend.
Yeah,
And I
they should know more about Teddy. I mean, to rescue the American spirit, are you using, Roosevelt to revive a degree of, national character and, courageous, purposeful, morally committed, throughout the world, that type of America? Would you say, TR rescued the American spirit from complacency and corruption? And, does it need rescuing now? Is this sort of an ode to Teddy, but a call to be more like Teddy?
Yeah, I don't go into it thinking about that, but every time I finish one of these projects, and by the way, I have a great team. I've got a researcher who plants herself in national archives and libraries and gets these nuggets of history, and then I've got a co-author, and we bounce back and forth and kind of put it all together like a quilt. But anyway, we go into these things looking just at a soda straw moment of history, and bounce back and show how that leader gets to that point. But every one of these books, and think about it, I've done Eisenhower, Reagan, FDR, Ulysses S. Grant. The last book was about George Washington and the Constitutional Convention, and now Teddy Roosevelt. Every single one of these books, as you get to the finish line, there is something that ties in with the current time. So, like the
Yeah.
beginning, the intro, and the epilogue, I try to do the very, very last when I have to turn in the book, because it ties into exactly what's happening there at that time. This one, Teddy Roosevelt really wanted his legacy to be that America was going to lead the world and be a global leader. And so he reaches out to Russia and Japan. They are battling over territory, and it's becoming really bad. It could become a world war. And he says, I want to host a peace negotiation. And he gets the delegations to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and he shuttles between the delegations and figures out how to get a peace settlement. And for that, he gets the Nobel Peace Prize. And it puts America on the map as far as trying to find solutions to world problems. At the same time, President Trump's doing that with India, Pakistan, and Congo, Rwanda, and Israel and Hamas, trying to do it with Russia, Ukraine, not with any success so far. But that is happening as this book is coming out, and it kind of ties in. Each one of these books has had that moment.
What has happened with Hamas? Is Hamas still in? It kind of gets knocked off the page. I mean, it's sort of like, but I don't think they've laid down arms. I don't think they've. It's not resolved. I said repeatedly, they're not going to do this, and I don't think they have. So is it just out of the news cycle?
Yeah, again, this goes to the point of the Epstein Files and all these other stories. Like, that's a major story in the world. What Hamas is doing there, is this ceasefire going to hold? IDF has been going back in a couple of times to take out specific cells. There hasn't been an Arab force, security force that they promised was going to come together. They're working on it. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are over there trying to hold everything together. But they haven't laid down arms yet. And while they have handed over the hostages and almost all of the bodies of dead hostages, they haven't relinquished their arms. And that's a big, big deal in what happens in the Middle East.
I don't know if President Trump is a great student of history and presidential history, but, you look at the themes of your book, leadership through the strenuous life. Teddy Roosevelt grows up in New York as an aristocrat and takes off and heads west and loves the outdoors and, proves he's a tough guy that can hang with the blue collar workers. Moral courage in public life, balancing strength and restraint, preservation, like protect what's worth keeping. He established 5 national parks, 150 national forests, protected 230 million acres of public land. You think Trump has ever been to a national park and gone hiking?
Oh, well, I'm not sure about the hiking, but he's been to a national park sometime.
The hiking for sure not. Imagine the hiking shorts. I just can't see it.
If there's a golf course near the hiking trail, he may have played there. Listen, Teddy Roosevelt did some big things. You talk about a president that had executive power expansion. Think about this. From George Washington to William McKinley, the 25th president, collectively, all together, they signed 1,200 executive orders. Teddy Roosevelt signed 1,300 executive orders as president over those 2 terms. Now, a lot of those are specific efforts of conservation and protecting those 230 million acres of land and doing other things, which he thought was going to be protecting for the future, and still is to this day. But he also did things for labor. He got involved in the first labor dispute as president. He solved the coal miners' strike in 1902. He files 40 antitrust lawsuits against big business. So he believed, even though he grew up as an aristocrat, he believed in fighting for the little guy and was kind of a champion. So you couldn't put him in a box ideologically. He was both a conservative and a Republican, but also a progressive who had inclinations to fight for the little guy.
His last note, though, a sour note, right? I mean, he was the Ross Perot of 1912, right? He came in and he started the Bull Moose Party and split the vote, and elevated Woodrow Wilson, the Democrat, to win. And so how does that affect his legacy? Did he go on and, unlike, Brit Hume told you, don't make it about yourself. Did he make it about himself and kind of end on a sour note there, which is...
If I had to... if I had Teddy Roosevelt back and I was asking him one question, I would ask him about that choice. And I think he would regret it, if I had to guess, because he really hated Woodrow Wilson and his policies, especially during World War I. But he does. He decides to run against Taft, who was his vice president. In between there, he leaves office after the presidency. He gives this speech called The Citizenship in the Republic. It becomes known as the Man in the Arena speech, which essentially says, you got to get in the game. You can't be throwing rhetorical grenades from the sidelines. You got to do stuff, be a doer. And I think he's talking to himself because he wants to get back in the game. He gets back in the game as the Progressive Party candidate, the Bull Moose Party. And he campaigns around the country. He gets the most votes of any independent candidate, more than Ross Perot, and that hands the election to Woodrow Wilson, which has big consequences in the world. I think he would regret it. Republicans definitely look at that as a big fault.
Yeah. Brett, I have another question. Just going back a little about. There's a big thing. I listen to Scott Galloway. Do you know Scott Galloway?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to move it around as far as the views that I take in. I find this guy to be very smart. He's got a book out, nothing to do with politics. Has to do with young men, And
Yeah.
you're raising young men. You've got an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, and he's worried that the boys aren't interacting with the girls. And in fact, he said 18 to 25-year-olds, 45% of them have never asked a girl out because they just send a text like "yo, hey," or a TikTok direct message or something like that. There's not. Do you talk to your boys about, guys, put the phones down and call her?
100%. And by the way, I've heard Galloway speak. He's really compelling, and I love the stuff that he says about going back to old school and teaching kids how to be kids, boys, girls, and interact. Those phones, I think, are, in one sense, they're forward leaning and the communication's great, blah blah blah. But in one sense, it's really, really bad for them, for their development. And they become introverted into TikTok or Instagram. I mean, I've just started being on TikTok at Bret Baier, Instagram. If I'm not on Instagram Reels or YouTube or TikTok, my younger kid, Daniel, does not know what I'm doing. And I posted something the other day, and he's like, "Dad, that's so cool." I'm like, "What do you mean? I've been doing that for a long time." And so I think we're at a different spot. And I do think that they got to put down the phone and they have to interact and really tell a story. I say no phones at the table when we're eating, and I want to hear a story. I want to hear a joke. I want to hear something that happened during the day. I want to hear like a narrative so that you can tell me something instead of like texting an emoji to tell me how you feel.
You ever told them the story of how you went on a blind date with Amy and somehow asked her out a second time, and you couldn't just text her and say, "Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
What's
I
up,
did.
Amy?"
I told him you got to get active.
Oh,
You got to be in the game.
I remember.
His Galloway's whole thing is you got to go to a bar and actually hit on somebody if you're single instead of like scrolling off and swiping left.
Galloway's interesting. He's like these kids. They need to start drinking. They're not drinking anymore. You're drinking is a rite of passage. You get a little bit of courage. You can ask the girl out. The whole thing is like you're not drinking. You're losing your chutzpah.
Ear muscles, yeah.
Yeah, it's beer muscles. All right, couple of quick odds and ends here. What's the coolest thing aboard Air Force One?
Coolest thing about board Air Force One, this is the hallway, and there's the cabinet room, and then you go up the hallway to the office, and the president's office there is really cool. Now, this plane is 35 years old. It's old, which is why they want a new one. Boeing couldn't get the jet done. It's taken forever. So to our point earlier about countries doing things, Qatar gives him this Boeing jet, which creates all this kind of controversy. But it's going to be done, within a year or so, and it's going to be exponentially better. But the coolest thing in the current Air Force One is that front office where I did that interview. And the president stays there.
And does it has all the accoutrements, right, to operate from as the Oval Office would?
Yeah, it does. And they've got a command center upstairs that essentially they can do everything and stay afloat, stay in air. They've got refueling. And you saw that during 9/11 where President Bush stayed up and then went to a Air Force base.
Unbelievable. All right, little hot mic sports here. Have you ever played golf with Trump?
I have played golf with Trump several times, and
was it clean?
He's a good golfer.
He's a good golfer, I know. But did he move the ball around a little bit, or was it?
I didn't see it. Now the caddies could be active. I didn't see it, but he's a good golfer. I mean, he's a legitimate golfer.
Yeah,
and he's the best golfer. Let's say this, historian-wise, he's the best president golfer we've ever had by far.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I got the great, the great story of George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton playing golf together? They became friends, but they're playing. And, George H.W., his father and grandfather were presidents of the USGA. He was a real stickler for the rules of golf, of course. And he's playing with Bill, and they tee off, and Bill puts one over in the rough. And Bill goes up to the ball, whoosh, takes a hack at it. Nothing happens. Hacks again. It comes out onto the fairway, and then he takes the fourth shot up onto the green. 2 putts, gets a 6, and at the end, HW says, "All right, Bill, what'd you have?" And Bill says, "Out of 5." He says, and HW goes, 5. Bill, off the tee, into the rough. You whiffed one in there. 3 comes out, 4 goes up. You 2-putt. I've got you for a 6. He goes, No, that was a practice swing. And George H.W. says, well, that's the first time I've ever heard someone yell shit after a practice swing. It's a classic. Do you think Live Golf will last? I mean, or are they a couple seasons left, or are they going to fight this out?
Listen, I think they're re-signing some of their big guns, like Dustin Johnson. Bryson, I think, is re-signing, which is surprising. I thought he was going to shift back over. So, there's never-ending money right now. And if that's the case, I think it sticks around. There is this belief on that side that they want this team thing to work. I just don't know if it's going to do it. I know the Ryder Cup works. The President Cup sort of works. But I'm not sure if it's going to take off. But they've got a lot of money. And I don't, those guys taking that money, I think that's what you got to do. But watching it, I think will be interesting to see if it picks up.
Bret Baier, here's a question. You come out to Hollywood, and you text me and you say, all right, Bushman, let's go out and have a nice dinner. And I say, and I want you to put some celebrities at the table. What celebrities would you like to have at the table here in Hollywood? We'll start with the ladies. Would you like Kim Kardashian? Would you like Meghan Markle, Blake Lively? Taylor? Who would you like to talk? Taylor Swift, maybe?
Yeah, Taylor Swift. That sounds good.
Okay, we'll put her down.
Does Travis Kelce come with him?
That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. I'd play with him at Lake Tahoe at that celebrity golf tournament. He's a blast. Let's see, who else?
We got some fellas we can put Bill Maher at the table. We can put Matthew Stafford if you want to go sports. We got Denzel. Here's a couple of choices. We got Barry Manilow. Oh no, that's not Barry. Who's that? Bradley Cooper.
Barry Manilow. Wow.
A young Barry Manilow.
That could be a future role for Bradley Cooper.
Don't get a facelift, Brett. Whatever you do, I know you're on television. Don't get a facelift. The man cannot do anything around the eyes. Keep it the way it is, all right?
That's good.
Yeah. I think we should do this.
I think Bill Maher would be interesting. He had dinner with President Trump. I like when he's pushing back on some of this stuff that is like traditional, where you'd think he'd be. I like the fact that you can't pin him down and he has his own thoughts, and that's a cool thing. So I'd like to go to dinner with him.
Okay, and the McRib is back. Have you ever eaten a McRib?
I have not, because I don't understand what the meat is.
I need to know more. Final question is a career question, and I think I know the answer to this, but you're deft at handling difficult. Have you ever been pursued by another network to take over as the evening news anchor?
Not directly, but I've seen some stories about it, and I'm in a long-term deal with Fox, so I'm very happy. It's been a good run, and I'm doing what I'm doing, but I have seen that out there, and we'll see what happens. I have too. Hot Mics with Bret Baier and his incredible book. It is. You can learn something, you can become smarter, and you can do it on the beach. It's good storytelling. To rescue the American spirit, Teddy Roosevelt and the birth of a superpower by Bret Baier, his 7th book. I appreciate your time so much, buddy. We love you. I call you America's anchor. I mean it. I think you're just great. Thank you, buddy. And let's get together sometime soon. Hey, when you come out here, I'm going to take you out to the club. We're going to play a little golf. I might put a Luke Wilson in there, a Matt Stafford, maybe a Matt Stafford. He's a good guy. We'll put in. He's a good golfer, isn't he? Will Arnett.
Will Arnett, good buddy, he'll come out there with, I promise you, an unbelievable foursome when you come out to
All right.
L.A.
We'll work on it.
Okay, buddy. I'll see you.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
so much. There goes the great Bret Baier. Hot Mics with Billy Bush, brought to you by LA Golf today. Our friends at Venbrook Insurance as well, who are working through their Forward LA initiative to help the local communities and residents hit hard by the Los Angeles fires. Today we highlight one of them, Vittorio's. Oh, just a beautiful place, a Palisades cornerstone for 4 decades. Local residents would just, go in there for some awesome Italian food and a laugh and catch up with friends. Just unfortunately, weeks after celebrating their 40-year anniversary, the Los Angeles fires just roared and burned the place to the ground. Its owners are sisters Vanessa and Sabrina Pellegrini. They regrouped and rebuilt something a little different than what they had. I headed over to their new place to hear their story and maybe to, grab a slice. Boom. One of my favorite little pockets in all of Los Angeles, Santa Monica Canyon. We are on Channel Road right here, half a mile off the Pacific Coast Highway in the ocean in Santa Monica. It's such a vibrant little hip part of town. You got the Golden Bull, which is a legendary old gay bar which turned into a mainstream and everybody goes there. And you got Giorgio Baldi, where J-Lo and Ben go when they want to be filmed in a particular part of their marriage or life. And you got this incredible little spot, Canyon Square, that popped up. And it's just right after the fires. You've got a little real estate place, a little coffee truck, and one of the great little gems, Italian restaurant Gems, which was a vibrant restaurant in the Palisades and is now a happening little food truck here in the canyon. And there are the girls. There's Vanessa, there's Sabrina, and welcome, bienvenidos, Vittorios. Was that right? Is it
Bienvenuto.
Bienvenuto.
Yeah.
Not the bienvenidos.
No, bienvenidos.
Vittorio, guys, this is unbelievable. What a
Thank
beautiful,
you.
cute, the evolution of this, obviously not where you expected to be,
No.
but how long did it take after the hitting the fan to see it?
Took about 4 or 5 months. Yeah, to get it off the track.
How long did it
Yeah.
take to realize, okay, our beautiful, incredible restaurant since 1984 is not coming back?
Oh, about 12 minutes.
Did you watch it?
We watched it.
We got a video.
We got a video. Got a
We
video
filmed it.
of it burning to the
Driving
ground.
down.
Wednesday morning, 5 a.m. Got the video. It's lovely.
So immediately, was it devastation? Could you see through it to some type of hope and future? Or?
I could, she couldn't. Yeah.
I broke down.
Yeah.
I lost it. But I only lost it for about a week.
Okay.
I gave myself until the Monday after and said, all right, mourn, go through it, get through it, pull up your bootstraps, figure out what the next step is.
Yeah.
What was Vittorio's like when it was rocking?
Man, it was awesome.
It
was
was
great.
it was a second home to all the community. All of our customers we've known for 35 years.
Generations of people.
Yeah.
Grandparents, parents, kids, their kids. Everybody would come down. It was amazing. It was like the Italian Cheers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody knows your name. You walk in, your kids go to soccer together. They play baseball. They're at the park. They walk down the street. You got dogs. I got dogs. I mean, it's like, it was a whole thing. You come, you grab a pizza, you go to the liquor store next door. You get your dog neutered. Yeah, it's like a one-stop shop where we were. It was like a little tiny community. We were away from the village. Sometimes people thought they needed a passport to come to us because we were so far out. We're so far. But they would come and we'd deliver, and we still do. Now we
just do it out of here.
Do it from the
Can this trailer, this kitchen, these guys in here, can they handle it? Can they get up to, a dinner for 12 up in?
Oh yeah.
We cater up to 300 people
Wow.
out of here.
Oh, yeah.
We've done it already.
Has it worked out better than you thought it would, or just about?
I think it's
thought?
better. I think it's better.
Yeah.
I
Better.
think it's better. I was telling somebody said the food is so much better here, and I said, it's probably because you haven't had it in a while.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
Is
You
it
know.
comparable to what it
It's-
was? I mean, the food. Have you been able to recreate the magic?
Same chefs.
same chefs.
Brought back everybody who could come back, who wanted to come back, that we could bring back. Brought back everybody. Same guys.
Some of them have been here for 40 years.
Was the restaurant insured?
Yes.
Okay, has insurance been good?
Yes. For the most part, yes. They've actually been very good.
Okay, so you've basically, you lost your memories, you lost your home base, but you didn't have, insult to injury.
We're underinsured, like most of the people, but they were very easy to work with. I have to say, I did not run into the problems like a lot of people have been running into with insurance. They've been pretty good.
Unbeknownst to you, you went out with a bang at Vittorio's, celebrating 40 years, right?
Yeah.
You made it to a milestone.
Yeah.
How was that? It must have been beautiful.
We invited all of our friends, all our neighbors, all our customers, family, everybody. We brought them in, we fed them, we presented awards to our landlord, who's been our landlord for 40 years.
Awards to the kitchen.
Awards to the kitchen. I mean, chef coats and the whole 9 yards. And it was great. And everybody came together and we loved it. And it was a year ago, October 19th. And little did we know that would be the last time we saw everybody together.
No, but the next day we did throwback.
Oh, that's right.
We did throwback prices to 1984.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
$5 lasagna.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was packed.
And then 2 months later, the fires hit, and
That's it.
And that was it.
that's it.
Yeah, that was the end of that chapter.
So interesting, though. If you look at like 40 years in one spot, and now who knows? Like, maybe it's this spot, maybe it stays here, maybe it's just we do that. Maybe we go back, and now it's a totally different thing.
Yeah. Or maybe it's both.
Your attitude is what's right. I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Hey, can I see the guys? Can I say hi?
Absolutely.
Come on. This is Alicio. There's Michael. There's Renee. This is the team. They are cranking out the best food right here on Channel Road. Look at the beautiful sauce. We got some bolognese, some marinara. What do you got here?
Got some meatball and
Meatballs and sausage. We got some garlic knots over here. We got a pizza station over here. What's going on inside here? Beautiful. Watch this move. Okay. I help myself. Look at this. Boom. Good? Okay. I did not clear that with him. I just did it. Sometimes you just got to go. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know if that's even for me. Thank you, my friend.
Good.
Oh. Wow. Whoa. Thin crust at the bottom. Crunchy. Everybody says New York, and they can't do New York in LA. Trust me, they can do New York. That's the only place I've seen do New York. Perfect.
How do you like it?
I made such good friends with those wonderful ladies. Guess what happened? They weren't able to do their toy drive for kids, which they do every year at Vittorio's. And I said, the restaurant across the street that has the giant parking lot and the outdoor, eating space, I happen to know the guy. So we called the guy, and guess what? The toy drive that Vittorio's does is back on this year, and we can't wait to be a part of it. It's December 20th. Hot Mics will be right in the middle. We love partnering with our sponsor, Venbrook, to highlight stories just like that. Venbrook is taking insurance, which can seem scary, overwhelming, and they're just making it easier. And its Forward LA movement aims to make a difference by putting insurance money back into local communities. Go to venbrook.com/hotmics for more information. That's it for us. Thank you to our other sponsor, LA Golf, our title sponsor. Take your swing to the next level. Hit that ball a little bit further and a little bit straighter. Go to lagolf.com and upgrade your game. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.